Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl, Tena, and today we are going to be treating grief. We're going to be talking about grief. What is grief? How does it affect us in our daily lives? So, without further ado, if you think that is what you are interested in watching, let's jump right into the video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tena and this is my vlog. So, like I earlier stated, we'll be talking about grief. What is grief? Grief is a natural response to losing someone or something that is so important and valuable to you. That is just the definition of grief. Emotions like sadness, loneliness, um, and you might even experience for a number of different reasons. Maybe because of your loved one died, or a relationship ended, or you lost a job, or some health issues. Those are the things that can make you grief. So, moving further, we're going to talk about how grief affects our body. Now, since we've known that grief is a natural response to losing someone or something that's of importance, we'll talk about how it affects our body. So, grief can cause a variety of effects on the body, including increased inflammation, joint pains, headaches, or even digestive problems. Can you see? So like I said, that it can lower your immunity, thereby allowing your body to be attacked by any sickness that is coming from anywhere. Anything, if malaria wants to attack you, straight ahead. So, like I said, it makes you more susceptible. I hope I pronounced that well, to illness. So, grief also can contribute to cardiovascular problems. I hope you understand what is cardiovascular. It has to do with the heart. So, if you don't want to have heart issues or heart problem, then I think you shouldn't grieve for long. So moving on, it can also cause difficult sleeping. Difficulty in sleeping. Yes, if you are grieving, you find out that you can't sleep, and unhealthy coping mechanisms, things that are not healthy for you, you start finding yourself doing them all because of grief. So grief itself is what leads to other things like depression, suicide. But before those things, grief is like the primary cause of every other mental issue. It's not like you can't grieve at all. No, from the definition, it shows that it's a natural response. If something pains you, you definitely cry. Yeah, you would cry definitely, but not to take it to the extreme. So, we'll be talking about the 5 types of losses that can cause grief. Just like I said, number one is leaving home. You understand when I mean leaving home? How can leaving home affect one? When let me use for instance that a child had issues with the parents and is provoked and the child runs away from home, that child can experience grief or is prone to experiencing grief because the child will just be left alone without loved ones. So the child might not be able to cope immediately. Then the second one is illness or loss of help. There was a time I had a relative. So this man was working, he was doing everything. He got to a point in his life, he had an accident and they had to amputate his leg. Whew. He died. He later died because he was grieving over it. He felt so bad that every little thing he could do before people were doing it for him, so he wasn't finding it funny. He kept complaining. He was like, hey, if this is the kind of life I'm going to live now, why don't I just go so that everybody will be fine, because I don't want to stress or trouble anyone. And that was how he gradually died. So he died out of grief also. Then we talk about death of a loved one. That's the number 3. Now, the death of a loved one, almost everybody faces it. But there are some people who take this grieving to the extreme level. It also happened to me too when I had that will be in my next video. If you want to know what happened to me, you can watch that video. That's about depression. So, like I said, death of a loved one, that is the climax. It can make you just grieve for as long as God knows when. Let's talk about late actress Ada Ame. May God bless her soul. She died out of grief. Ada Ame's own, I understood that it was like nobody could fill that vacuum of her daughter. She lost her daughter and she lost some of her family members. But the truth of the matter is that those loved ones, it's not everybody that can fill the vacuum. It takes time. And those people too, until they've decided that they want to come out of grief, you can't do anything about it. So, moving on to the next one, number 4, we'll be talking about change of job. So, it happens to people, but I don't think in sub-Saharan Africa here it happens. But I think it happens to the white people, to the Western world. You see that some movies where you watch, some people will change their jobs and they'll be like grieving over it, and they will feel uncomfortable, and before you know, they'll get depressed, maybe because of the people they are working with, or they don't like the job or whatever. So moving to next, number 5. So loss of physical abilities. Loss of physical abilities. This is what I was saying. Like that, my uncle, I was saying that he lost his legs. Yeah. So imagine you going out by yourself all alone, and all of a sudden you can't do it. It's like you have to plead with people, you have to beg someone to be there to carry you up, and it's not easy. It's not easy. You're not going to forgive yourself. You'll be angry at yourself. You won't forgive yourself. You would blame everything on you. You start playing the blame game. You start faulting yourself. You become bitter, unforgiving, and so on and so forth. While the last reason is loss of financial security. This happens to mostly men. Yeah, when I say men, I mean, yeah. Gone are the days when they say men don't cry. Honestly, men do cry. They do cry. Imagine when you don't have money. You used to have money before, and all of a sudden it just looks like the wind just came and just blew it up in the drift of the hurricane, and it just went zoop. And you don't have any means of survival again. In fact, you just went
from top to bottom. I wasn't talking about APC. So, imagine someone's finance just going from the top to bottom. It can cause grief. It can make someone grieve badly.
You just feel worthless. We'll be talking about what is the hardest stage of grief. Come close. I said come close. Let me tell you. Is depression. Depression. When you have entered it, it can only take Oluwa. It can take only God to say it's so bad. I can't even find the right words to put into it. Like I said, check my next video. I'm going to find out what I'll be saying about depression.
So, moving on, say how long does grief last? The truth of the matter is that nobody knows how long grief lasts.
I think that we have come to the end of this video. I'll see you in my next one. Until then, stay peaceful, stay calm, and always remember, protect your mental health. That is what matters. Bye bye.